Hello, yogis. Welcome back. Today's practice is designed to help you build strength and mobility in the shoulders and in the backside of the body that will eventually help you develop beautiful deep back bends. So you will need a couple of different props. First ones being a yoga strap and a resistance band. And if you don't have a yoga strap, maybe grab a belt or just some kind of long thing that's at least double shoulder distance apart. And then the other two props that you'll need are a small object, and for my small object, I'm using a peanut, but this really could be anything like a cup, a shoe, just something small, and we'll get to why we're using that later. And then you may want to have a yoga block present as well. Let's get started. Come on over to your mat, standing tall with feet at hips distance apart. Spread the toes, ground down evenly through both of your feet, lengthen the spine. Start just by taking a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. Let your shoulders relax, unclench your jaw, soften your face. Start to engage through the core, lengthen down through the tail so you have a nice, long, low back. Inhale, bring your arms up over the head. Exhale, right arm falls as left arm reaches over. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm reaches. Continuing through these side bends, inhale up and exhale down. And as you're moving through these, try to focus on keeping your core engaged, keeping your low back nice and long. So even though this is a back bending practice, we're not overarching through the low back. Try to connect your breath to each of these motions. And exhale, hands to heart. Step up to the front of your mat. Spread the toes, plant the feet. Lengthen that tail, squeeze the belly in. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head. Exhale, long spine, soft knees, drop to forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up, shoulders back. Exhale, hands down, walk your feet back into plank. Pause for a moment, bring those shoulders over the wrists, squeeze your belly in. And as you exhale, drop the knees, bend your elbows along the sides of the ribs, come all the way down, point through the toes. Roll your shoulders back, inhale, low cobra. Exhale, release. Twice more, inhale, roll shoulders back, lift to cobra. Exhale softly down to the mat. Inhale, rise, cobra. Exhale, release. Moving into locust pose, shoulders back, lift the chest, lift the hands, reach your arms back. Maybe gather the fingers together behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Engage your glutes to lift the legs, keeping the knees straight. Try to get the thighs up off the ground. Keep extending long out through the top of your head, looking more down towards the front of the mat rather than looking out in front of you. Exhale, release. Plant the hands. Inhale either to a cobra, a little bit higher cobra, or straighten the arms, lift the knees, coming into upward facing dog. As you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Take a moment to move around here. Bend the knees, shake your head, sway the hips. Just finding any kind of movement you need to warm up and find yourself within the body. Inhale, stretch your right leg to the sky. Exhale, bend the right knee, squeezing right heel towards left hip. Try to keep your shoulders evenly balanced here. And exhale, right leg down. Inhale, left leg to sky. Bend the knee, squeezing heel towards hip, getting a nice stretch along the front of the thigh. And exhale, foot comes down. Look forward, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise with the inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, keeping that spine super long. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, feet walk back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. From down dog, come out onto your hands and knees. Now, make sure that you rotate the inner corner of the elbow facing forward so the pointy part of the elbow faces towards the thighs. Then inhale, tilt your pelvis forward, look up to cow. Exhale, tuck the tail, round the back, drop the head to cat. And continue moving through cat and cow nice and slow, just enjoying the wavy motions of your spine. Seeing how close you can get to articulating each individual bone in the spine. Try to connect the length of your breath to the length of this motion, never hurrying. Pause in cat, lift the tail high, and keep that forward tilt to your pelvis as you exhale back to downward facing dog. Then inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, heel to hip. Inhale, extend right leg. Exhale, release. Left side. Inhale, leg goes up. Bend the knee, squeeze heel to hip. And exhale, release. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hollow the belly as you come to forward fold. Then rise and reach, arms lift up. Exhale, hands to heart. Then step out to face the long edge of your mat and start to take some big forward rolls in your shoulders. Just making these rolls as big as you can, taking them nice and slow. Bring the hands out to shoulder height, palms facing down, and start to trace little circles through the air. And if you want to, you can add on the feet, stepping back and forth to get the body nice and warm, lift up the heart rate a little bit. Now, we're moving kind of fast here, so make sure you're breathing nice and slow. And then take super big forward circles through those arms. Keep moving the feet back and forth. And then big backward circles. Find your rhythm. Keep breathing. Soften the face. Maybe give a little smile here. Then hands come to shoulder height. Spin in tiny backward circles. Lengthen out each breath. Then let the feet come to a stop and take big backwards circles through the shoulders, letting the arms hang down by the side. Relax your fingers. You can even find a little bend to the elbows and a little roll of the wrists. Take a moment to pause, find your breath, and step back to the front of your mat. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, hands down, feet back, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a moment to pause and breathe in down dog or child's pose. Now, before we go into our strengthening circuit, let's take a moment to just focus on correct positioning of the shoulders. So, coming into a comfortable seated position, Bring your arms out in front of you, palms forward, and spin the fingers to face each other. Then turn the fingers upward, squeeze the shoulders down. Again, turn the fingers in, squeeze the shoulders down. So as you do this, just notice how as you point the elbows downwards, how the armpit kind of closes off and wraps down towards the side of your body. So that's what we're going to be looking for in a lot of this work, is that armpit wrapping downwards. Make sure that you have your props nearby. Go ahead and lie down on your back. First strengthening exercise is bridges. Walk the feet in to hips distance apart. And make sure that you have a little scoop to your pelvis, kind of like that cat back that we did in warm-ups. Arms are by your sides. Press the heels. Squeeze your glutes. As you inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, back to the ground. Do 7 more. Inhale, lifting up, keeping that scoop to your low back. So low back is nice and long, no overarching there. And make sure that you're really pushing down through those heels, squeezing the glutes. And maybe you find that each time you lift a little bit higher up off the ground, finding some space as well beneath the spine and beneath the shoulders. Keep your chin lifted towards the sky, little bit of space behind the neck. Press down through the backs of your arms. If you don't get through the full amount of repetitions, don't worry about it. Just work at your own pace. Last bridge pose, pause for a moment at the top, squeeze, see if you can lift the hips a little bit higher without overarching the low back. And exhale, come softly back down to the ground. Then roll over onto your belly, moving into locust pose. Lengthen out the legs, reach your arms forward. Make sure that low back stays nice and long. Check in with your glutes. Make sure they're turned on. Even give them a little squeeze. Reach the head down. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lift the right arm and left leg. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, left arm, right leg. Inhale down. Now keep moving side to side at the pace of your own breath. Exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower. Keep pressing your pelvis down into the ground and engaging through your abdominal muscles to protect that low back. So don't worry about how high you're lifting here. Just try to find the engagement within the glutes, belly, and shoulders. And relax down, wiggle out the hips, rest the head. Press through the palms, come up to hands and knees. Go ahead and grab your resistance band. So if you have a long one like I do, you might need to double it up. Wrap it around the elbows. Then place your hands down on the mat. Make sure that your inner elbow is rotated forward. Shoulders are pulled back, not rounding forward. Hands are shoulder distance apart, fingers wide. Then lift into cow pose. Tail is up, belly strong, shoulders back. Bend the elbows and straighten the arms. And that's it. So it's just like a little mini chaturanga here. Try to keep the chin lifted, tail lifted. Make sure that each of your arms is bending at the same time so you don't have one arm leading the other. They move at the exact same time. Keep those shoulders back, chest forward. And sit back. Set your band aside. Now go ahead and grab your small object and lay back down on your belly, just like we did for locust. Reach both of your arms forward, measuring at shoulder distance apart. Then take your object and place it to the outside of one arm. And with whichever arm is forward, extend the arm out, lift it up and over. You may need to watch the arm go over that object the first few times here. After your arm gets used to the positioning of the object, you can lay your head back down to relieve any strain on the neck. Then continue to move, extending the arm forward, coming out of socket a little bit, lifting the arm up and over the object. Move nice and slow here. Keep that armpit wrapping down so you're not internally rotating the shoulder. Keep that thumb up, palm facing in. Good. Now let's switch sides. Again, measuring shoulder distance apart. Take your object to the outside of the opposite hand. Again, for the first couple, you may watch your arm extending forward, up and over, and forward, up and over. After you get the hang of it, then you can lay the head back down. Just move nice and slow, moving with as much control as you possibly can. Doesn't matter how many reps you complete, just matters that you make this move count. Bring both hands in. You can set your object aside for now. Slide the hands back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Pause for a moment. Find your breath. If child's pose would feel better, go ahead and drop the knees. Then come down, roll onto your back, and we'll go through set 2 of bridges, this time adding the arms. So thumbs are up, palms are in, feet hips distance apart. As you inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. And exhale, release back down. Inhale, hips and arms lift at the same rate. Maybe you tap both thumbs to the ground above the head. Now keep your arms straight as you go through this, so there's no bend to the elbow. And if your hands don't reach the ground behind you, don't worry about it. Just go with whatever range of motion you do have today. Then check in with your engagements, squeezing the glutes, pressing the heels, pulling the belly button inwards. You still got that chin lifted up with a little bit of space behind the neck. Just move at the pace of your breath, never hurrying. And relax down. Take a moment, pause. And then roll back over onto your belly. This time we'll switch up the locust pose a little bit. So both arms come forward. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift the upper body. Inhale, lower. Then exhale, low body lifts and lower. Then just keep switching back and forth, lifting upper body, relaxing down, and then lifting the lower body, relaxing down. Make sure that you keep the elbows straight, thumbs up, palms in. Keep the knees straight, toes pointed, belly strong, glutes squeezing. And each time you're setting down, whether it's the upper body or the lower body, do so gently and with control so you're not falling out of the motion. Then relax. Roll around for a moment. And press back up to hands and knees. Grab your resistance band, place it around the elbows. Now, 2 choices this time. You can either go ahead and go into your cow pose, or if that was pretty easy for you, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and stretch the hips back into about a halfway down dog. Motion stays the same. Elbows bend and lower, and then straighten the arms to lift. Again, make sure that you're bending the arms at the same time so you don't have one arm coming down lower than the other. They're moving at exactly the same time. And if you can't go super low, it doesn't matter. Just go as low as you can without any kind of imbalances on the way back up. And release down. Set your band aside. And grab your object. Roll out to your belly. Arms shoulder distance apart. And rest the head on one hand. Extend your arm forward, up and over, and forward, up and over. So you may find this time that now that your body has developed that sense of space around your object, that you don't need to watch it. Move nice and slow. Arms straight. Fingers stretching out. There's a lot of energy in that arm. And switch arms, object to the other side. Rest your head. Extend the arm forward, up and over, and forward, up and over. Keep moving back and forth, keeping your thumb up, wrapping the armpit down so you don't start to wing out through the shoulder. Continue moving through, connecting your breath to this motion in whatever way feels natural to you. And release, set your object aside, hands come in. Inhale, roll through to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come back down one more time, rolling down onto your back for the last set of bridges. Inhale, arms and hips rise up. Exhale, lower down. So really try to time the movement of your arms with the movement of your hips so that the arms are reaching their maximum overhead position as the hips are reaching their maximum height. And then on the way back down, hands and hips hit the ground at approximately the same time. Make sure you're still taking deep, long breaths. Keep a little lift to your chin, plenty of space in the throat. Now on this last bridge, we're going to hold, keep your hips lifted, bring your arms down by your sides, maybe bind the fingers beneath the back. If you're binding the fingers, rock the shoulder blades together to bring a little extra space beneath your upper back. Keep the feet pressing, hips engaged, chest moving towards chin, chin reaching towards the sky. Separate the hands if they're bound. Gently, slowly release back down. Take a little wiggle if you need to. And again, roll over to the belly. This time we're moving into a full locust position. So arms go forward, feet rest back. Exhale, arms and legs lift. Inhale, gently lower. Moving through approximately 7 more of these. Keep your pelvis pressing down, core engaged, neck nice and long. Arms and legs stay straight, fingers reaching, toes pointing. For the last one, lift and hold. Keep breathing. And exhale, release. Rock the hips, rock the head. And press back up. Find your band, wrap it around the elbows, and again you have the option of doing the elbow bends from hands and knees or coming into that half down dog. So if you're coming into half down dog, you might even wiggle the feet a little further back so the arms come further out in front of you. And then bend the elbows and straighten the arms. Now watch your elbows as you move through this, again ensuring that both arms are bending and straightening at exactly the same time. Keep those hips lifted, belly tight. And exhale down. And go ahead and get rid of your band. We're all done with that. One more time, grab your object, lay down on the belly. Arms come forward, shoulder distance apart. Rest the head on one hand. Extend that extended arm forward, up and over, tap down. And extend forward, up and over, tap down. Keep working through this, connecting to your breath. Thumb stays up, elbow straight, armpit wrapping down. You may run into your object from time to time. That's all right. Go ahead and switch sides. Thumb up, palm in. Rest your head down on the opposite hand. Extend your arm forward, up and over, and forward, up and over. Connect each motion to your breath. Keep the shoulder wrapping down, elbow straight, fingers stretching out. And rest. Slide your object aside. Plant the hands. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Work your way back to deep, slow, steady breaths. Go ahead and grab your yoga strap and your block if you have one. Then come to have a seat on your mat. Take your yoga strap and we'll go through an exercise called shoulder flossing. Bring your hands out quite a bit wider than the shoulders. Palms are facing down. And then stretch that strap apart. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale down. We'll start with just a few of these going halfway up. So you're lifting up and over the head. And then exhaling down in front of you. Keep the elbows straight. Spine long. Crown of head reaching to the sky. Then you can absolutely stay with these half lifts, or at the top, shrug the shoulders up and release the arms down behind your back. Then inhale, come back up over the head, shrugging the shoulders to the ears at the top, and exhale, down in front. Again, inhale, arms come up, shrug the shoulders, exhale, down in back, and continue to move through this with your breath. Now, this is a great exercise to practice in front of a mirror or to take a video of yourself doing. Often, your dominant arm will want to lead your non-dominant arm, and you'll see that sometimes my right arm leads a little bit more than the left. So it's just something to work on and try to get those arms to move at the same rate. And as those arms come over the head, resist the urge to duck. Keep the crown of the head reaching straight up into the sky. Next time you're down in front, set your strap aside. All done with that for today. Walk back out onto hands and knees. And exhale, down dog. As you inhale, lift the right leg. Look forward, exhale, step forward. Keep the left knee lifted. Push out through the left heel. Squeeze the left glutes. Really strengthen back through that leg. Plant the left hand by the right foot. Inhale, right arm comes up. So you're twisting your belly and chest open to the right. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to deepen your twist. And bring both hands back down to the ground. Bend your left knee till the left knee rests just below the left hip. Then tuck your tail under so there's no arch through the low back. Squeeze the belly in. Maybe go ahead and grab your block, placing it to the outside of the right hip. And we'll move into a side bend. Inhale, left arm up by the ear. Exhale, reach over to the right. So if you have a block, you can place your hand on that block outside of the right hip, or you can just rest your right arm along the right thigh. Try to keep your chest slightly rotated up towards the ceiling so you're getting this excellent stretch down the left side of the body. Now slow down your breath. Long inhales, deep exhales. Inhale, come up. Exhale, both hands down. Lift the left knee, step to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale, left leg stretches up. Exhale, step forward. Keep the right knee lifted as you press back through the right heel, really finding energy and strength through that right leg. Plant your right hand next to your left foot. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, settle into your twist. Open up wide through the chest. Stretch out through the arms. Keep that back leg strong. And exhale, both hands down. Right knee to the mat beneath the right hip. Come up to your low lunge. Then tuck that tail. Engage the core. If you're using a block, move it to your left side in line with the left hip. Then inhale, right arm by the ear. Exhale, bend to the left. So you can place your hand on your block or just place the left arm on your left thigh. Rotate your chest slightly open towards the ceiling. Keep the tuck to your tail, strength to your abs. And then just focus on the depth of your breath. Inhale, come out. Exhale, hands down. Step back, plank. One last time, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. And look between the hands, step or hop forward to take a seat on your mat. Lengthen out the legs. Readjust your hips as needed, maybe sliding those glutes back behind you for a slight forward tilt to the pelvis. Plant your hands down next to your hips, either on flat palms or fists, coming into Dandasana or staff pose. Flex the feet, engage your legs, lift up through the pelvic floor. Draw your belly in, and then slide your chin in towards the throat to lengthen the back of the neck. So in this way, we're just starting to strengthen the front of the body again to balance it out with all of the back bending that we did today. This doesn't look like much from the outside, but you really should be feeling this, maybe even feeling a vibrating energy and heat within you. Release some of that energy with an exhale. And prepare for Navasana, boat pose. Both knees bend. Wrap your hands behind the thighs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, lean back, spine at about 45 degrees. Maybe release your arms. If you're feeling well balanced today, you could rock back a little further and lift the feet. Do try to keep your weight balanced between your tailbone and your sitting bones, just so that you're not rounding or rocking onto the low back. Now focus on your breathing. Exhale, feet come down. Bring the knees apart, soles of feet together for Baddha Konasana, bound angle. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, reach your heart forward. Now make sure you're keeping the spine straight rather than rounding the back. Compress your knees down towards the ground, maybe using the elbows on the inner thighs for a little extra weight to the stretch. Each time you inhale, lengthen the spine. Each time you exhale, draw your abdominal muscles in. And inhale, sit up. Reach the legs out. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, very slowly transfer down onto your back. Dropping one bone at a time to the ground. And take a moment to adjust yourself in any way needed. Wiggle around for a moment to find a comfortable position for Shavasana. You can turn the palms towards the ceiling or rest one hand over belly, one hand over heart. Relax your muscles. Feel your body growing heavy. Soften your face. Unclench the jaw. Relax the belly, the hips, the hands, the feet. Letting go of tension anywhere you may be holding it within the body. And take this time to let go of your physical form, focusing on your breath and surrendering into stillness. Anytime a thought or a sound comes along to distract you, let it go. Return to that sensation of stillness. You can stay here longer if you have time, or begin to bring movement back to your body with some little wiggles, rolls, stretches, bends, moving in any way you need to wake yourself up. And bend the knees, roll to one side, resting your head against the arm. Back into a comfortable seated position. Resting the hands at the heart. Closing your eyes. And finishing your practice with a bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like or a comment or subscribe to my channel. Let me know what other kinds of videos and practices you want to see here. And again, just thank you so much for spending this time with me today.